Hey, folks, welcome back. Shaun Thompson here, and welcome back to Stateside Speed. It is July 17th. This is episode 7, and we are going to go through the most recent race with the British Grand Prix.
Take
and then
2.
Also,
Episode 7.
Take
2.
So,
I can hear it.
Take
it's
2.
Working. Hell yeah.
Our gear is working.
if you were watching our last video stream, thank you. Here's part 2, because Aaron's microphone didn't work. So,
Awesome.
Anyway, we'll make do. It is what it is. So
Thanks a lot.
I'll take the heat on it.
We're going to
supposed
go
to be the
through
IT guy.
everything we just discussed previously. We're going to go through it again.
That's
we'll
right.
just talk about it and then kind of go from there. But we've got a recap of the British Grand Prix. Fantastic race. Saw Lewis Hamilton winning his 104th race, his 9th British Grand Prix, which is a record. And just, again, cementing his place as one of the best drivers in Formula One ever.
Really good race.
Yeah. So overall, very interesting race because I think you had a lot of interplay with the rain and how that affected the drivers and the teams' strategies. And I think that came into...
Or lack thereof in some cases.
And they came into a huge play because it affected, I think, McLaren most of all, with how they changed tires and how their pit strategy was. Because
the
it
lack
seemed
thereof part.
Right.
Yep.
Because they seemed like, oh, we're going to go an extra lap. This is going to help us. And it did not help them whatsoever. And that came through in the result of the race with Lando Norris finishing 3rd and Piastri finishing out of the points. And then you have Verstappen, who started 4th and finishing 2nd and had a excellent...
And was all the way back to 6th at one point.
Right, and it had an excellent pit strat. And it was getting passed repeatedly by everyone that was at the front of the pack, including both McLarens, because Piastri was going around those drivers like it was his job.
Which it is.
Yeah.
Jinx, Yomiko.
And so so it's just hard to say, where do they go from here? We'll kind of get into it a little bit, but overall we had a great race with Hamilton winning, Verstappen finishing 2nd, and Norris finishing 3rd. So we had 2 out of the 3 drivers from Great Britain finishing in the top 3 in the British Grand Prix. So it was just reassuring and relieving not having to hear the Dutch national anthem once again.
Which we all have memorized now.
Yeah, and also not hearing the Austrian Grand Prix or the Austrian national anthem.
Right.
With Red Bull and Verstappen winning the race. But overall, what did you guys think of the race?
It was great.
It was a good
fun.
race.
I mean, bummer with Lando
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
McLaren strategy, but we're getting different winners. It's
Yeah.
kind of nice. And,
Right.
and seeing Hamilton win again was awesome.
And it looked like Mercedes was going to take it, and then McLaren came through, and then it was just a lot of back and forth, which made it interesting. And
Yeah.
it wasn't a okay, well, I'm going to go do some stuff around the house and then check back in here in a minute.
Right.
Yeah. So, and for the token Sauber fan in the room, they were still in the bottom 10. But, sorry.
Thanks.
I'm going to make fun of you.
Not surprising.
But overall, I think they were in the middle of the bottom 10.
But number 1 in our hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their social media crew.
They're great at social media.
Well, and there's parts too of every race that I've noticed where like Valtteri will get up there, and I don't know what it is. If the pits are bad, whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. But then they fall right back down.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to say. But I think...
Let's go, Audi. Come on.
Yeah.
You can't come soon enough.
But I think that one of the biggest storylines of this whole race was the pit strategy of McLaren, because I think they beat themselves big time in this race.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had every opportunity to win this race. They had there was one point, I think, just going from slicks to inters in the first pit stop, where they took an extra lap where they were not changing, and Verstappen and Hamilton both pitted early, went on inters, and I think made up the gap that they would have expected for a pit stop.
Yeah.
I guess in that pit stop, and so it just kind of calls into question, like, what are they thinking? What are they doing?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think, and I don't think they knew.
No.
Because like the track was wet here, but it was dry here, and it was
Yeah.
wet here, so I don't think they knew what to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard to say, like, are they listening to each other's radios and like who's coming in, who's coming, who's not coming in, these types of things. But it's overall, like, their pit strategy was terrible.
Right.
It was just awful, because even after the initial stop, from when they're going from slicks to inters for the first rainstorm, coming back in to switch back to slicks, they were a lap or two late even at that point too. And then they switched onto the wrong tire because they went onto the soft compound. You had Max Verstappen going on to the hard compound, and he was
Flying.
barreling ass.
past, yeah.
He was kicking ass. But everyone else was on the mediums. You had Oscar Piastri on the mediums, and he was flying. But you had the guy that you are suspecting and expecting to win this race in Lando Norris on the softs, and that tire is just falling apart.
Yeah. He was babying it there
Yeah.
at the end.
He had to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Going slow.
And so it's just like, what's going on? Like, what changes can be made, if any, in the pit box?
Well,
at McLaren?
and the thing that really didn't help him either was that last pit stop that he had was terrible.
Yeah, he stopped like almost 3 feet in. It was slow.
Super
It was-
slow.
We were talking about
Yeah.
it like over 4 seconds.
Yeah. And then by
then-
the time he got out, Hamilton was
So this is obviously the driver's fault.
Right.
Yeah.
All of this.
No,
So.
no. I think it's an overall team.
I will not
team
even joke
problem.
about it.
Yeah, but it's but I think it's just another example of McLaren's there.
yeah.
They can
gotta
win
get
races.
out of their own
they
way.
can do it, but they need to figure out the small things to get out of their own way to figure
Correct.
out how to win races. And
Yep.
so
They're fast.
that's
They just-
where
it's the
that's
strategy
where
now.
Red Bull excels. Is they don't have those problems. They've got a world class driver. They've got a phenomenal driver that can win race in any way, shape, or form, and they've got a pit team and a strategy that's going to do whatever it can to win races.
So now that's the storyline kind of to follow for McLaren is do these things keep happening or do they get better? And if they
Right.
do keep happening, who does that fall on?
Right.
So, and then I think the other big storyline with this is Ferrari.
Oh,
Is
what was happening? It's like the
is-
old Ferrari.
yeah. It's so Leclerc comes in and is like, "Oh, we're gonna go to inters because it's raining." And it's like, "Oh wait, it's not really raining. It's kind of raining. It's raining over
It's
here,
raining
but not
there
over
and there, but not over here.
But no one else stops, and he falls precipitously
far.
from the top 10 into the bottom. I mean, I think it was 18th for a good
Yeah.
chunk of the race.
Yeah.
With 2 cars out.
it looked like they put banana peels on his
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of like road. Like he was just all over the place.
Little Mario
So,
Kart.
like, who the
Yeah.
hell's making that call of like, oh, let's go to inters? But then Carlos Sainz is like, no, we're good, we're fine. Does that come out on the
And finishes what, 5th, 6th,
Right.
somewhere in
Right.
Does that come out
Did
on
well.
on the strategist, or is that
Is
a
it the
driver
driver?
problem?
Good question. Something
if
they're
it's
I
going
think
to
if
figure
think if
out.
you're asking Ferrari, it's not the driver
Right.
because
Because if it's a driver
Leclerc
problem,
is
they're
the
keeping
man.
the wrong.
They're
driver.
keeping the wrong guy. I think you listeners, you know how we feel about that.
right, and so, just crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Just
Leclerc
dumb.
totally effed himself
Mm-hmm.
this race, and so, any surprises with the last race that you guys saw?
I mean, that was a big one.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was a big surprise.
with all bad.
other than that, not really.
Hulkenberg.
Okay.
I don't know if that's even a surprise anymore because he's
No,
been
'cause they're
performing
starting-
well.
Yeah, Hulkenberg in the top
Haas
10
is
is
doing-
not surprising.
Not
his-
surprising anymore. Yeah.
Kind of getting away from the bottom of that pack, and
Yeah, but I think
suspect
having
they're going to keep going.
Aston in the top 10 wasn't surprising, but they've been so meh
Yeah.
all
They're kind of
year.
forgettable. They're
They
just
are.
kind of there.
Right.
Yeah.
So they were 7th and 8th, and so
Yeah.
It
That's
is what it
good
is.
for them.
yeah.
Stroll
So-
didn't hit a wall. I guess that was kind
Yeah.
of surprising.
I'm out in the wall.
Hey, lads.
Want to go
Lance.
for a stroll?
I can't. I'm
in
in
the
the
fucking
fucking wall.
I love that.
Gotta
So
mark it explicit now, guys.
Right.
It lives rent free in my head.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
So we're going to get into driver updates, which
Yep.
I think has been a story for the entire year. Esteban Ocon signs with Haas. So Haas is now set for next year. They've got Ollie Behrman on loan from Ferrari, and then Esteban joining them from Alpine.
Which is it seems like a good move
Yeah.
for them.
Agreed.
I think it's a great move. I think Esteban's a great driver. I think you get the right car underneath him. I think he can make a lot of noise. And so I think it's hard to say because you have two competitive drivers at Alpine with him and Gasly in regards to Ocon. But I think they were just trying to outdo one another. But I can't explain how he drives physically into the back end of his teammate at Monaco.
Right.
And it's like, oh, this is okay. This is fine. This is going to go well. It's like, well, no, what are you doing, man? Like, this is crazy.
Another one that lives rent free in my head is just seeing that sitting there hanging out.
Right.
When the car crashes into the house.
So it's like, are you trying to get kicked off the team? Like, do you not
worked.
want to be
Yeah.
here? Because, you
Basically,
win.
it worked. Yeah. You got what you wanted.
But I think he'll do well there.
I think the dynamic with him and Behrman it'll be a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Because obviously
he'll be
he's
a
going to
number one
be
guy.
right.
Yeah. Whereas here, it's him
Right.
and Gasly.
And I think-
Ollie can know his role and learn the ropes.
Right.
And
And I think one of the other big things, or one of the big other storylines with this is that Toyota is trying to get back into
That's right.
Formula One.
Yep.
And they're trying to do so with Haas. And they're going to try to be the power unit for Haas going forward. And I think this is a great move. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Toyota has a strong track record with NASCAR, with Hypercar, with the World Endurance Challenges and those types of things. And they've been in Formula One before.
They have.
And so they, obviously, if you've ever driven a Toyota Camry, very reliable engine.
They are.
And so,
it's like they know what they're doing.
yeah. And so, but whether or not, and I think a lot of it's going to come into play with the new engine regulations coming in 2026. And I think that's where companies like Audi are expecting to thrive, is because they've been dealing and thriving in that environment for years and years. Is Toyota going to be able to thrive in that environment as well? And I think they'll
I
be
don't
able
see
to
why
do
they
so.
can't, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume
Yeah.
they'll be fine.
I would think so.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it's
it'd
hard
be-
to say, but
Yeah.
It would be
Signs
great
point
for an
to it.
American team like Haas that is
Yeah.
owned by an American to use an American engine company
Right.
like
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Ford or
There's
Cadillac.
there's another American team that's trying to get an F1.
Yeah, I heard the Andretti's are
Yes.
very interested in becoming a Formula
And
One team.
they have a deal
and
with
they
Cadillac.
have a deal with Cadillac.
I mean,
and if you're
Let's make
trying
that happen.
and I'm no economics person, but if you're trying to grow
Again, news to me.
if you're trying to grow a sport in a market such as the United States, you'd want to have an American team that doesn't rely upon Italian engines per se.
There you go.
So if you have an American team in the Andretti's with an American engine company like Ford or Cadillac, probably going to get some interest in the sport. Just saying.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Especially over here
Yeah.
in North
A
America.
lot of money
Hey,
here.
guys.
Grow the
if
fan base.
Andretti's, if you're listening, we're for you. We will promote you in any way, shape, or form.
Day one of you on the
Yeah.
grid, you're now my
And-
favorite team.
Yeah, yeah.
Formula
100%.
One.
Yeah. Yeah.
Formula One. Don't
World
be
Endurance
stupid.
Challenge.
Stop being stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're in IndyCar.
They are. Yep.
Yeah. And so
Very successful
I think it
in
would be
IndyCar.
fantastic to have a team like the Andretti's in Formula One. So,
Agreed.
but as long as all I can do is just spout
Dream.
from my little microphone in
That's
the
right.
basement
Somebody
of
will
Dennis
listen.
Tresca's house. So, so
Damn it, that's good enough.
yeah.
It's just gonna have to do.
And so, so I think the other big name that's still out there, the other big name that's out there is Carlos Sainz.
Carlos
Where the hell is
Sainz.
he going to wind
Yeah.
up?
This is
This is the beating
wild.
the dead horse thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you just
he's waiting for something, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so
Makes you wonder what does he know?
Is Perez going to get the
Right.
boot and he's going to take a spot? Is he not? Is he going to take the job at Sauber and wait out Audi coming on? It's hard to say.
Alpine keeps seeming to be the big name.
Yeah.
That's trying to get
Alpine's
him.
there.
They got the money.
Mercedes is still a job that is
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
open. It's hard to say. So where do you guys see Carlos Sainz winding up?
What did I say on the first take?
I can't remember.
I think we all kind of the first take one.
We did this once. So I'm gonna go look at it real quick. And
Wasn't it Alpine or Williams?
I think Alpine is the one that seems to be the big.
The
They've got to be the front
predominant
runner,
favorite.
right? If
Yeah.
there's Vegas odds on this,
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Sauber's
they would be
kind
the-
of like a dark horse still hanging out there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then
if
you just got the
Mercedes is
two
gonna
big
go for it.
the two
Yeah.
big teams that maybe he's waiting for a shake up there, right?
But then, like we talked about, like what happens this summer is Perez going to be gone?
and that's what I
could
mean
he
with the
be-
big yeah. If he
Right.
doesn't deliver and then they kick him and then it's like
Yeah, because when it comes to
And that's a whole lot of dominoes
Right, right,
falling
right.
in different ways.
because when it comes to the Ferrari job, or I'm sorry, the Mercedes job, it sounds like Toto is kind of poo-pooed it already. Like Carlos is not our guy, and so I think that speaks more to the fact that Antonelli is going to be
Antonelli.
their guy coming up next.
I feel
year.
like recently I saw an article that talked about Toto kind of left that door open a little bit. So I don't know if he's just like screwing with people.
yeah, he
and-
doesn't want to tell everyone exactly.
Yeah.
He wants to show him his cards, right?
Right.
So it's
The door's
hard
not
to say.
completely closed on the
Right,
Sainz to
right.
Mercedes deal, but
But-
what is Sainz waiting for?
Right. I think it's just crazy that he doesn't have something locked up with a
Right.
major team by this point in
Right.
time. And so I think wherever he lands is going to be a big splash. I think it'll be either Red Bull, I think it'll be Mercedes, or he's just going to be like, you know what? I'm going to be a generational change. I'm going to Sauber. We're going to set this team up. We're going to set them up for success, and I'm going to be what they're looking for.
he's either just going to go to any of the teams available,
Right.
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
It sounds that way.
I mean, that's what it feels like, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
Well,
so
and it's
up in
not-
the air.
Obviously, it's not a money thing, right?
Right.
Like
He's fine.
He's going to get a ton of money wherever he goes.
Right.
It's that thing of like, what's he looking for? Does he want to be a number one guy? Does he want to have to deal with being on a team that's not going to be competitive for
Right.
the next probably 3 years?
Yeah.
Right. But
Yeah,
I
he
thi-
wants to win now.
Yeah.
But I
That's
think
probably part of the
you know,
problem.
kind of thinking and looking back at my little outline here, Alpine seems like the best fit for him. Because
Yeah.
they're going to give him the cash that he wants.
They're starting
and
to turn-
They're going to give him a car that he needs, and they're switching from Renault engines. It sounds like to Mercedes engines, and so it sounds like it should be a more competitive car because it's been a horrible car this year. It's been a tractor for all things considered. It's been a very slow car, and so if they can get a better engine
tractor.
with
Like a John Deere.
John
or like
Deere,
International.
Yeah. I don't-
and so if they can get a better engine and better aero underneath him, I think he can make a lot of noise. And so I think with the
Those cars are
investment in
loud.
that team, I think Alpine seems like the right fit for him.
I think
mean-
that would probably be the right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's. Sorry, didn't mean to step on you.
No,
there.
no,
I
that's-
agree. You know, and with the celebrities kind of buying into the team, they probably want some big driver too. You know, they don't.
Makes sense.
But I think if they're smart, Jack Doohan, they can get in at the entry level with him for a limited amount of cash.
And they might.
And he's a badass driver. He's a good driver. He's good. I mean, the fact that they've made strides in any race, it's because of him in their simulator. He's the guy that's making the changes, and he's like telling them the feedback that they need to hear. And
That's awesome. I did not realize that. That's
That's-
really
which,
cool.
which would be the perfect thing
That's
for
who you should be
Sauber
relying
slash
right.
Audi.
And so
Right,
I mean,
right.
that's who you need to be relying upon is your reserve drivers because they're the ones that are making these calls in the simulator.
Yeah.
Like, you've made these changes. Well, this is good. This sucks. This is what you need to do better.
But the fact that
good point.
nobody has signed him
Right.
points to the fact that everybody's waiting for Carlos.
Right.
It
What's
is.
he gonna
He's,
do?
he's yeah. We keep saying the same thing, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's still we're still there. We're just
I-
waiting for that shoe
And
to
I
drop.
think if any team
Domino
should
to
be
drop.
Shoot.
hesitant to
Should be
not
dropped down to the
sign.
fall.
Yeah, should not sign a young driver. It's Alpine. Because who's the last young driver that they didn't sign?
I don't know.
one?
Who?
Oscar Piastri.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
what's he done?
Bum.
I'm like,
Come on,
hope
somebody
hope
get
you
it.
guys can see this on the.
It's
stream.
your dog. Your dog.
Oh, yeah.
Oscar.
Yeah, it's so Oscar was the Alpine reserve driver last year, and then they're like, "Oh, we're
We're
signing him. We're
I'm an
signing
F1
him."
fan for the last like 4 months, so like beyond that, like I know a little bit from Drive to
Yeah, I
Survive.
kind of just forgot.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
I remember you
And-
talking about it.
And
I'm
so,
glad you let me off the hook. Thanks.
and so Alpine came out last year, and they're like, "Oh, we've signed Oscar Piastri to a long-term deal," and Oscar's like, "No, you haven't.
No, you didn't.
I'm actually signing with McLaren, you assholes, and peace out." And so, so that should be a word of warning to Alpine. It's like if you have a solid young driver that's going to possibly be the face of your team in the future, like Jack Doohan is, you need to sign him. Mm-hmm. And so,
But the thing is, nobody has yet. So what are they like? The opening's there. It's not like these young
Everyone's
drivers
waiting for everyone else to
Yeah.
make a move,
And it's not like the young drivers are sitting there going, "Nah, I'm gonna hold out. I don't know if I
No,
want to
they're
sign."
definitely not.
They
They
would
want
be
a
like,
seat.
"Hell yeah, I want to
they'll
see.
take
I'm
any
taking
seat
whatever."
that comes up.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. So
And that's where we're at.
clearly nobody's reaching out to them and,
Right.
and giving them that. So, like I said, it's
yeah,
it's
and
the
so the
Carlos
last one
show
we'll
right
talk
now.
about is probably V-Carb.
Yeah.
I think this is a no-brainer. Liam Lawson.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
And so,
Yuki and Liam.
where does that leave Danny Ricciardo? Is he just without
Second
a
seat in
next
Red
year?
Bull.
The second seat of Red Bull. He's taking Perez's seat.
Yeah.
Duh. He's going home, baby. No. Again, we talked about this earlier, but what did we say? Sauber sounds like almost like it makes sense.
I feel like it because they're going to be they're waiting for the Carlos lottery, and I feel like Carlos is going to go somewhere else,
Yeah.
and they're going to be left wondering what to
Yeah.
do.
I like it.
Young driver might not want to sign there just because of everything that's changing, and just to get them through that transition into the Audi
Right.
side of things, well, let's
So
bring
fun
Danny
thing with German teams coming back into Formula One. So the last German team to come into Formula One was Mercedes. Who is their driver coming in to Formula One?
I don't know if I like this trivia time.
I know.
Very famous. Very famous.
Oh,
German-
Schumacher?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mike
Schumacher. yeah.
Michael Schumacher was one of their
Yeah.
two drivers.
He's got. I wouldn't. Yeah. See.
So do they
what I
bring
mean.
back? Does Vettel come back?
Yep.
And he's their number two.
I don't see why not.
It's
Makes
Nico
sense.
Hülkenberg, German, and Sebastian Vettel, former 3-time world champion.
He's done a thing or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he come back and be like, "I'm the guy"?
See, there's so many of
So
these.
yeah, there's so many drivers and,
And
so
there-
little
and there's
seats.
so many options. Like going
Yeah.
back to the Danny Ricciardo, I wouldn't doubt it if he just is without a seat.
It-
Like, he
yeah,
just
done.
might be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that dude just needs to start his
I mean, 'cause
journalism career, if you want to
think
call it
about
that.
it.
Get a microphone in his face
Yeah,
and
because how many seats or how many drivers? So you have Magnussen, Joe. Who did you just say? Sorry,
Schumacher.
not Schumacher. Ricardo.
Oh, Ricardo.
I mean,
yeah.
that's 3 drivers right there.
Yeah.
had a
That
seat
may
this
not-
year that are they might not
may
have a
not.
Might
seat
not even
next
have
Yeah.
a seat.
year.
Yeah.
Likely won't.
Yeah.
The way things are looking.
Yeah.
So
There's
does
more
Sauber
drivers than there are
like
seats as
we're gonna
usual.
bring in the grandpa? That's the old winner, and he's gonna kind of get us going
He might-
forward.
he
and
might
then who do we then
take that
who
on.
do we bring in?
I
Young
mean,
names
just to
coming in
get through
from
that
there.
transition,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. So, moving into the Hungary race this week. So, we've got great race. Should be fun. I think
Hopefully.
the same teams are going to be up at the front.
Probably.
Yeah. And so, who do you guys see for pole position in qualifying?
Oh. Well, let's do
Oh,
it like
God,
we did
now I
before.
gotta think back
Yeah.
to
Who
it.
did you have?
Oh, shoot. What did I say before? Goodness.
Like we should have recorded this or something.
I
It's
know.
like my
Wow.
microphone should have worked the first
You want me
time
go?
around.
You want me to go first? Because I
Yeah,
remember
'cause
mine.
I'm trying to think of what mine
Yeah,
was
so
for pole.
I think for pole, I think it's going to be Max, and then I think it'll be Lando and then Oscar. That'll be the top
yeah.
3. And
So I think I had Max with the pole. but I'm going with it.
Max does like the pole.
Yeah.
And then let's go Oscar second and Hamilton third.
I think that's what he had
Yeah,
earlier,
that's pretty
too.
close. Yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
familiar.
So I'm going with.
I don't think it was.
Yeah,
but-
I'm
giving you something.
I know.
Go with
I
it.
know.
I'm McLaren lockout for the first row, so it's
Right. Of course
Lando
you are.
number 1, Oscar number 2, and then I had Sainz number 3.
Science. Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
So, who wins? Who wins the race?
This was where I thought that Lando was going to come through. They're going to work on the stuff that they had, the issues that they had last week, and finally kind of get past all of that and actually put a complete race together. So I had Lando P1. Then I went Verstappen P2. And I believe I went Russell P3. No, Hamilton P3.
Hamilton.
It was
Another
Mercedes.
podium for
Yep.
Hamilton.
Yep, following up on his win from last week.
Yep. I too think Lando gets the win here. I think he's going to bounce back from that ridiculousness. In
He's a
England.
fiery
Hope so.
driver.
He's fiery. And then I think Max will be P2, and I think Leclerc is going to round out the podium. I think he's going to have a bounce back from a couple really bad races.
No.
really bad.
Really, really bad races.
Oscar P1.
Love it.
Yep.
First F1 win coming at the Hungaroring. Max will finish second. And then I'm going to change it up, I think, from the initial podcast.
That's
Take-
okay. No one will ever see that one.
From take one.
This is all new.
Will be Hamilton in third.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually like that. That's
Yeah.
good.
I feel like he's going to carry on that momentum from
Yeah. I think
Silverstone.
Mercedes is going to be a problem to deal with for all the other teams going forward because I think they've got things figured out.
They've been
And,
fast.
Yeah.
and
They have.
They've been a hard team to deal with. And so, what do you guys see as bold predictions for this week going forward?
my bold prediction, and I remember this one, was Danny Rick in the top 10.
Yeah.
I feel like, he's just got that potential of making that second seat with
Yeah.
Red Bull if they do decide to make a change, and he's going to do everything he can to show that he belongs there.
Yep. My bold prediction, it's another comeback candidate. I think Perez P4. He's at that point right now, like we said, he needs to prove himself.
Right.
So I think he does it like one more time, and then it's just I don't think
Does he keep his spot
I
if
don't
he's
think he
P4?
maintains. I think he needs to do more than a P4 this weekend. Like he needs to do it a couple races in a row.
Yeah, he's got to be within.
And I don't know if he will.
Yeah.
within that top probably 6, 2 races in a row.
He's like
I would say.
137 points behind Max.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he won't. He won't.
Your
Yeah.
bold prediction, sir?
Logan Sargent. P7.
Ooh.
I can't remember what my other.
You don't remember? I
I
remember what
remember
your
it,
other
yeah.
one was.
Someone
Had to do
crashed-
with Lando.
Yeah,
Lando
someone
hitting
crashed-
the wall in
so
the
Lando
first-
crashes with someone else. Can't remember who else.
Verstappen made him crash.
Didn't Verstappen
was it
crash
That was
him
your
out?
within the first 5 laps.
In the
was
first
your,
5 laps?
That was
Yeah,
your prediction.
Yeah.
I mean, the other is both good, but
Yeah.
We
that
actually
that
had
was
4.
exciting.
I
That's-
can't remember the 4th one. Somebody else, didn't they? Weren't they
there-
going to hit a wall?
Oh yeah, we talked about another. See,
Yeah, there was a.
I don't know.
sorry,
It was,
this is not interesting to the
there's
listeners
too
at
many
all. So we'll move on.
IPAs involved. So sorry.
Whiskey,
Yeah.
IPAs.
Sorry, listeners.
Jim Beam.
Yeah.
You
so
don't deserve take one. Sorry, guys.
Anchorage
Yep.
incognito
No one
mode.
does.
Yeah. So brought to you by Tavour.com. If you're listening, sponsors.
Yeah.
Advertisement.
That's where I got the beer from. So anyway, I damn.
Free plug.
Yeah, it was. I just want Sargent to finish in the top 10 this year. I do. I know he's not racing next year, but it would be wonderful to have a American driver finish in the top 10 this year.
It would be
P7
nice.
might be stretching it.
It would be nice.
It would be, but
Yeah.
damn, it'd just be great to have him up there. So.
All right. What about your Las Vegas application, there, buddy?
Yeah. Not going well.
Not
Yeah.
So blunt.
So if you're not a resident of the southern part of Nevada or a previous
Marshal.
F1 marshal, you cannot be a marshal for the Formula One Grand Prix
I'm
of
calling
lost
bullshit
days,
on that. That's stupid.
which sucks. And
I think
so,
you have a
Get a PO box.
PO box.
Yeah.
yeah. So
We still got a
we'll try
LLC
that.
Red Dad Network.
Yeah.
So maybe we
we'll try
LLC
that.
it there.
Try that.
Maybe somebody's listening to us from Southern Nevada that'll be like,
So I will literally do it for free.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't assume
I
you'd
will
be paid.
be a marshal for
Right.
free. So if you want me to wave a flag around for free, I will do it.
You listening, F1? We have a lot for you this episode.
yeah,
So listen, Andretti,
we can be put on the payroll too.
Sean needs to be a marshal
Yeah.
at the Las Vegas.
I
Las
will
Vegas
wear
Grand
an
Prix.
Andretti flag on my back and
then-
be a marshal.
There was a third thing for F1, but I don't remember. They'll just have to watch it. Listen.
Yeah.
Might have been in the first
But-
take.
I'm sure it was.
But yeah, we've only got one more race after this until the summer break, and then we have a month of nothing race-wise.
I'm
anyway.
sure there's going to be plenty that happen.
But don't you worry, listeners, because Dancing with the Odds will be coming back during that time.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
So if you are interested in how to make $10,000 this upcoming fall,
I mean, I'm interested.
yeah.
Yeah.
Say less.
We're going to do that on the Dancing with the Odds because we're going to win a $10,000 betting on football
That's right.
between college and pros, and it's going to be stressful. It's going to be fucking awesome.
I think it's going to be like super stressful because it's just.
I don't know, man. I stressed out a few times.
Did you?
Last year? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, coming down to.
But yeah, but for the goal is if you didn't listen last year, the goal is that we're going to double our money each and every week. And actually, it's each and every Saturday between Sundays. So if we win on Saturday, we're doubling the money on Sunday, and then vice versa on the next Saturday. So if we win 20 on Saturday, we're betting 40 on Sunday. We win 40 on Sunday, we're betting 80 on whatever. It's be great. So
He's no mathematician, folks.
but
It's going to be wacky.
Thank God he's a doctor.
it's going to be wacky. It's going to be fun. And I mean, if we get there, I think it'd be great. A great thing because I think just with the sports books that I follow online, they have a hell of a time getting to that point. And
Oh
so
yeah,
if
it's
we can
not
get
easy.
there,
Yeah, it'd be great.
yeah, follow us.
And if we don't,
We're gonna win.
season 3.
We're gonna win some money. Damn it.
We are gonna win money.
Yeah.
We're gonna win money.
And
We'll
you
have
can,
more
you can
listeners.
bail out whenever you want. You're like, I don't feel like risking $5,000. That's fine. You're a bitch. That's fine. We're going for the 10,000. Fuck you.
He's getting into Dancing with the Odds mode right
Yeah.
now. I love it.
Just donate it to us so that we can build
So there
a
you
studio.
go, listeners. I know you're here for F1, but if you like to gamble, sports betting specifically,
Yeah.
give it a listen. It's coming back
Yep.
soon.
Should be fine.
Yep.
Should be fine.
And we'll have
So,
plenty more episodes of Stateside Speed coming.
Absolutely.
yep. So thanks for listening, and please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or X, Facebook, and I think
We got a
those are the most-
YouTube channel.
We do have a YouTube channel.
So if you find the
please-
Rad Dad Network channel, Stateside Speed is on there.
Yeah,
on
so
its
please
own
follow us on there,
There's
and
plenty
please
more to
interact
come.
with us. Send us emails, send us messages. We Rob Sloan was our
Rob Sloan.
Yeah, so Rob
Thanks,
Sloan,
man.
big
Shout
shout out
out.
to you. We were very appreciative to chat with you this last week. So, yeah, just looking forward to another exciting race this week, and we'll chat with you next week before what I think is the crown jewel of the Formula One season at Spa. So,
Suck it, Monaco.
Yeah.
all right, thanks, folks.
Thanks
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.